Hello, sweet friends. Welcome back to Sparrow Homestead. My name is Kelsey, and today I'm bringing you along for a busy day in the life of a homemaker, homesteader, and mama of two. I'm going to give you a peek at what my days are filled with. We're going to be in the kitchen cooking up 3 meals from scratch. We're going to head out to the garden for just a bit, and we get some things done in the home, including a room makeover that I'm really excited for you to see. So come on in, make yourself at home, grab your drink of choice, and spend the day with me. For breakfast this morning, we're making some crepes. Now, this is going to be a lazy version of crepes. I have shared before how I like to make my pancakes on a sheet pan in the oven. It saves me some time. I don't have to stand over a stove first thing in the morning flipping pancakes. I kind of feel the same way about crepes. I don't love standing watching them cook either, so I thought, why not try and make one big crepe in the oven? So that's what we're doing today. My recipe I have here in my notes. So now, it's not overly precise, but we have our own chickens. We have different breeds. Some lay larger eggs, some lay smaller. So if I have large eggs, I will use 2. If I have small eggs, I will use 3. And then you need 1 2/3 cup of milk, 2.5 tablespoons of melted butter. You're gonna need a heaping cup of flour. I know, not overly precise, but that's just what I do, and I used gluten-free 1-to-1. You can use regular. Then you're gonna need 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. I just do a pinch of salt and a nice splash of vanilla. So I have just a sheet pan here. I think this is like 13 by 17, and I do have some parchment on here. I've also sprayed the parchment. Get this on here. This goes into a 400-degree oven for about 12 minutes. You want it to be a little bit golden brown and just set, but make sure not to overbake it. While we wait on that, I'm gonna whip up some cream here. I have some raw heavy cream. I'll probably put about a 1/2 cup in here. Okay, and I'll start whipping this, and then I'll add a little bit of granulated sugar, about 1 tablespoon, and a splash of vanilla. Isn't that lovely? I think it came out perfect. It's slightly thick in just a couple spots, just a hair thicker than it would be if I were to make them on the stovetop, but I think it'll be just fine. So I'm gonna allow this to cool, and then we're going to doctor it up and roll it up. Now I'm going to start by adding some chocolate peanut butter spread. I tried to find the cleanest brand available to me at Walmart. This one wasn't too bad, so I'm gonna do a thin layer of this all over the top. Now for the whipped cream. Now some diced strawberries, and we'll roll this guy up. Gonna dust the top with some cocoa powder and a little bit of powdered sugar. Couple more slices of strawberry on the top to make it pretty. And there we go. My friend, this took pretty much no effort, and it's delicious, so you should make one. I think it's time I go and harvest a fresh bouquet for my kitchen table. And while we're out there, let's chat about the garden. So, I have not had you out in the garden as of late. Main reason for that is that it is so hot. It is so hot, and honestly the garden is a bit of a disaster. And I'm at the point of where I just kind of want to let it go and start ripping things out. It has not been a good year for the garden, and some years are good, some years are not. The weather has really just taken its toll this year. Just unrelenting heat and humidity. Usually we have some breaks in it, and we just haven't had a break in it this year. It was a very damp spring, lots of rain, and then it's been fairly dry. The only like precipitation we've actually had has been like torrential downpours, which don't really do a whole lot. They really just cause damage. We've had some really high winds. Most of my flowers, a lot of my plants have just been uprooted. Things are looking pretty sad around here. Perhaps I'll take a little bit of footage and insert it in here. So I am trying to still savor some of its beauty, like in the zinnia here. Probably not gonna get much of a harvest this year. I did get my potatoes, which I'm thankful for. There's been little bits here and there, but with this humidity, blight has come along. There's a lot of disease and fungus going on. A lot of my plants have just died. There's been a lot of pest pressure. I've had cucumber beetles and squash vine borer. All of those plants are dead. So it's a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. Some years are like this. And I am taking this as an opportunity to focus my attention inside and getting our house ready to sell. This right here, this is an example of why I want to be done with the garden this year. I have been out here for about 2 minutes and I am already drenched in sweat. It is 93 and the humidity is 90%. And like I said, there's just been no break in it, and it's really sad and disappointing. But I'm showing this to you just to encourage you that even the most seasoned gardeners have good years and bad years. And this is just gonna stay like this until there is a break in this weather. I have tried to come out in like 10 and 15 minute increments, and truthfully, it really hardly makes a dent. I even spent an hour out here one night and I barely touched it. So it's really sad because I love this space and you can't even really see all of the beautiful things in here. But like I said, it is what it is. It's not stressing me out. I'm just gonna focus on some other things and try to find some beauty amongst the weeds. On to the next task, the never-ending task of doing some laundry. Got some stuff for the kids' room I gotta wash, and I know I have a dryer full that has been waiting for me. So while I'm folding some laundry, I figured I would give you a really quick house hunting update, which isn't much of an update because we're kind of at a standstill waiting for the Lord to move. We're doing our part, trying to get our house ready, trying to make sure we're in a good place financially. I'm going to be speaking with a friend at church who is a realtor who also lives the same lifestyle, is into homesteading, and she and her husband were able to purchase a home that she found out about before it went on the market. And it's like a 5-acre old farmhouse, beautiful homestead. And that's kind of what Matt and I are feeling like we're gonna have happen in this market, something through word of mouth, and we just need to start forming some connections. So we're looking to move about 30 minutes closer to my parents. We wanna be closer to them. And we have a specific area we're looking in. It's a fairly large area, and all we are looking for in terms of like criteria of a house, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, and a minimum of 2 acres. And in this big area, there's 6 right now for sale, and the cheapest one is $650,000, which just blows our mind because we live in the middle of nowhere, and that's a lot of money for where we live. And it's a lot of money for not a whole lot. So that to say, nothing has come up yet, but we are trusting that the Lord has a plan, and we are really just waiting on him. You may hear the washing machine in the background now, but we're going to move on to my next task for the day. We're going to make some more vanilla extract. I love making it myself. It's so much more affordable, and I think it tastes much better too. I like making mine in spiced rum. I have done bourbon, I have done vodka. I always come back to the spiced rum. I think the flavor is just amazing. I have one of these big guys doing its magic down in the pantry already. It's been down there for about 6 months now. I like to let mine go a year. Everybody's different. A year works for me. I've been working through this one. You see it all the time in my videos. So now we're gonna make another one to add to the rotation. So this is 1.75 liters. For this size, I do about 35 to 40 vanilla beans. The rule of thumb is for every cup of alcohol, you would add 5 vanilla beans. I just get my vanilla beans off of Amazon. I watch them to go on sale. So these are grade A Madagascar vanilla beans. I can link them down in the description. I know there are some fun co-ops that you can purchase from off of Facebook. I personally haven't done that. So I am just going to take these out and I'm gonna score them just to expose all the goodness. And we're gonna get them into this jug here. I might have to empty off a little bit of the alcohol. I'll probably just pour it off into this one to get them to fit. All done, ready to sit in the pantry for about a year. We're gonna have a really basic lunch. This is a very realistic lunch, what we would typically be eating this time of day. I usually involve some sort of protein. We do fruit on the side. Today we're gonna make some taquitos, and I'm just browning up some beef. Added some of my favorite Redmond seasoning, their chili lime, and I have put some cheese on some siete almond tortillas with the beef, rolled them up, and I like to coat them in olive oil and stick them in a 400-degree oven for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're nice and crispy and golden brown. Usually around lunchtime, I will make myself a fancy-ish iced drink. I got these cute little ice cube molds that make these little marbles. I love that texture. I don't know, I'm a texture person, and I've always wanted one of the nugget ice machines, but I would never spend that type of money on something so frivolous. So these little molds do the trick, and they're really inexpensive. So I have filled my glass halfway with water, and then I put in a scoop of my dandy blend, that is dandelion and chicory root. And then I am going to froth some oat milk and some coconut sugar, about a tablespoon, and some vanilla, just a little splash. Froth that up and then add that into my dandy blend. I go back and forth between coffee and dandelion root. I am back on the dandelion root because I've been having some acne flares, and usually that means my liver is struggling. So the dandelion root is great for supporting the liver. I love getting supplements in ways that taste really good. going to share with you a project I have been working on. Like I said, we're getting our home ready to sell. There are some rooms that really need attention, and one of them is my kids' room. They do share a room. We have a 2-bedroom home, which is one of the reasons we are looking to move. We really need more space, but we are making it work. The last time I had paid this room any attention was when I turned it into a nursery for Eleanor, and she will be 8. So it was long past time. It needed some help. The walls were kind of a mess. I had some stickers on them at one point. The kids have just banged them up. And it really needed a good paint job, needed some character added to it. I wanted to just make it look clean and polished. I am super thankful for my husband and my dad, who put in a lot of work for me and brought my vision to life. I really wanted some beadboard in this space. I've always loved that look. I've been wanting to put it in multiple spaces in the house, but with old homes come very not square walls and corners. It's kind of a nightmare, and the only reason we were able to do it is because my dad is a trained professional. He is a carpenter, has been his whole life, and he's great at what he does. So he was able to give us some of his time, and he finished it beautifully. Matt and I both said we're not so sure how it would have turned out if he wasn't there, because nothing was adding up. For the walls and the beadboard, I went with a tried and true favorite from Benjamin Moore. It's Swiss coffee, and it's a beautiful warm white. And I did decide to do some of the molding because there are so many different shades of wood in this room. It was just looking a bit haphazard, and some of the tones were clashing, and I was not about to be refinishing that. So I did go ahead and I painted them. There I was just priming it. That's not the color that the trim will be. And this tool is a lifesaver. We have a lot of really high places in our house. It's quite interesting how some of the ceilings are shaped. It makes it very difficult to cut in at the top of the wall there, and it's like that in just about every room. Here's another example of why I decided to paint some of the wood trim. We had some water damage over here. Now the color I chose for the trim, it was actually color matched from the wallpaper that you'll see in a minute. It's a very neutral gray, green, beige color, and I actually really love how it turned out in the space. I wanted to replace the carpet, but that just wasn't in the budget at this time, so I did find this super cute bug rug. My kids love insects, if you haven't noticed. Also, if you haven't noticed, I love wallpaper. I would honestly use it in every room, except it's so expensive. This was probably the priciest thing in this entire room makeover. I always get my wallpaper from ScandinavianWallpapers.com. This is Anton in sage green, and I love it. It's a dream. We got the chair railing up, also thanks to my dad. So my dad always picks up any leftovers from all of his job sites. So he has a hoard of different types of molding in my parents' basement. So we got this stuff for free, which was another big blessing. I got both the kids some end tables, nightstands, whatever you want to call them. I got these off of Amazon. I don't love doing that. I don't like purchasing these things from Amazon, but I needed something a specific size, and I had been looking at thrift stores and the antique shops for a while, and I just wasn't finding anything. So I grabbed these. I love the spindly legs, and they honestly feel pretty sturdy. I also picked up these really cute scalloped shelves to house some of the kids' little trinkets that they pick up whenever we go to the antique store. Okay, another big blessing. I had been wanting to do this makeover for the kids, and I wanted to get them new bedding, and Quince just happened to reach out to me, and they gifted me with these beautiful bedding options for Eleanor and Grant. I love that they focus on quality. They use 100% organic cotton, European linen, and silk that will stand the test of time. They feel so much nicer. They last longer, and honestly, for what they offer, it's very affordable. I love that my kids will have natural fibers next to their skin all night while they sleep. Quince believes everyone should have access to nice things. They keep their prices low by using a factory direct model that cuts out the supply chain middleman and therefore reduces their costs. They also believe in sustainability wherever possible, choosing organic material, environmentally conscious packaging, and ethical business practices. They offer so many beautiful pieces for all of your home decor needs. They also have an amazing line of clothes using natural fibers that I will definitely be ordering from. I'm in love with these colors. The fig for Eleanor and the dusty olive for Grant, and this tan gingham is the duvet cover of my dreams. Quince really helped bring it all together and transform this space, so be sure to check out the links below and see all Quince has to offer. This is a tiny space, about 8 by 10 feet, but I was determined to squeeze in a little reading nook for my girl. She loves reading her books, so I grabbed this big beanbag chair, a little blanket, little pillow, and I sat her little frog friend there to accompany her while she reads. I hope you enjoyed coming along for this little room makeover. I had so much fun doing this for the kids. I love how it turned out. More importantly, they love how it turned out. Eleanor's words were, "Mom, this is fantastically beautiful," as she dove into her new bedding with her animals and read a book. And Grant said, "Mom, this is the coolest room ever." So I say that was a success. And now, let's go make some dinner. I'm gonna make some salads. It's so hot. All we really want are salads or just very light dinner. So we're gonna make a protein to go on the salad. I'm gonna do a pretzel crusted chicken finger. For on top of there, we're gonna make some salad dressing. I'm gonna make some fries for the kids because they're not huge salad eaters. And honestly, I have people ask me all the time, "Kelsey, do your kids always eat what you make?" I always like them to at least try. There are some things I know they just don't like, and I don't force it. I know they don't love salad. Every once in a while, we'll revisit it, but I know they're not a huge fan still, so I don't force it. So I'll probably just make them the fries, and they can have chicken fingers and fries. For the pretzels, I am using these Snack Factory pretzel crisps that are gluten-free. So I'm gonna let the air out of this bag here, and I'm just gonna use my rolling pin, and I'm gonna crush them up pretty fine. This recipe is coming from Half Baked Harvest. I am a fan of all of her recipes. I love this cookbook. So we're doing the spicy pretzel chicken fingers. Most of her recipes are online, so I'll see if I can find it and just link it for you. Otherwise, I totally recommend this book. I'll link that too. So in with my crushed up pretzels, I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion powder. A half teaspoon of paprika. These are already salted, so I don't need to add any of that. I'm gonna close this up and shake this around. Grab 2 bowls here. One I'm gonna add 2 eggs to. I'm gonna mix them up. I'm gonna add a little bit of hot sauce too. You can omit the hot sauce. I'm just gonna do a tiny bit because I don't want my kids to be angry with me. Take my chicken breast here. I am going to pound this thin and then I'm going to slice it. A little bit of olive oil in the bottom there, nice and hot. For our salad, we need some dressing. I'm gonna make a creamy honey mustard. And for that, I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of mayo. I'm using the Chosen brand avocado mayo. Do about the same amount of some Dijon mustard, maybe a little bit less. I know, I'm notorious for eyeballing things, my apologies. I'm also gonna do about 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey. And this is all to taste, so you can add more or less of whatever you want. And then I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup of olive oil. Grab a lemon, juice of 1 lemon, just a splash of apple cider vinegar, about 2 tablespoons, and a pinch of salt and pepper, and then we'll just give it a shake and it's ready to go. We'll assemble our salad. The days of fresh salad greens from the garden are long gone, so some spring mix from the store will have to do. I like to add some dried fruit, some fresh fruit, and then usually some nuts for some healthy fats. I did walnuts, dried cranberries, and some fresh apples. Usually some sort of cheese, whatever I have in the fridge. I found some feta, so that went on top. Then the chicken fingers and the honey mustard dressing. Thanks for spending the day with me, my friend. I hope you were inspired and enjoyed our time in the kitchen, tagging along in the garden, and working around the home. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and drop an emoji down in the comments for me, and I'll pop some more videos just like this one on the screen for you. Many blessings, my friend. Until next time, take care.